and like being a millionaire, it's a mindset. It's not a figure. I promise you, it's really a mindset. I was telling myself I'm a millionaire a few months back. I was like, I'm a millionaire, you know.
Top of the morning. Top.
2, 1.
Okay, let's go big again. Alright. Ayo!
Hey yo.
Ayo!
Hey yo.
Ayo!
Hey yo.
Ayo, is there Money Talk Tuesday? You already know what it is, boy. The name Chris the Hype, and I'm your host, aka Dr.
DripALot.
You dig what I'm saying? You already know, boy. I can't afford to pull up on my own. I need my soldiers. I'm with my co-host, my brother. Boy, talk to him.
Yo, what's going on? This is your boy Chief
T
for
the
the
one time.
The one and only. One more time for Money Talk Tuesday. What?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You already know, boys. Money Talk. This is the talk for the youth, by the youth, with the youth. And today, my brother, we having a guest. All right, a guest that stands out, you know, amongst all of our youth, man. Right, brother, talk to him. Who we having today?
Hey man, I don't think they're ready for this one. I'm saying, as my brother Chris said, this is the talk where we literally, you know, just bring out the best people who are doing best things in the industry, right? To, you know, just educate us financially. Now, this person right here, brother, it's one of the youngest people that's literally making it. I'm saying,
100%.
It's not just no regular person. It's an entrepreneur, 100%. Real estate agent. Went and became Mr. Teen South Africa, former Mr. Teen South Africa actually. Went and became former Mr. Teen World. I'm not done yet. Established his own events company, is an events manager for Miss South Africa, social media firm, has pageant events that goes by the name of Miss United Africa. Not only that, but this person became a recent young millionaire.
Okay. I'm not ready. I'm not ready. Are you ready?
Man, for this one, I gotta prepare myself first.
Listen, ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Mpho Botha. Yes.
Yeah, man.
Yes, sir. What's
Fantastic.
good, my brother? How are you?
How are you?
I'm amazing, bro. Too blessed to be stressed. Please,
Thank you.
take a seat. Woo, my brother.
Welcome.
Before we even get to it, my brother, you know, let's cool down. Let's cool down. Brother Chief, how you feeling, my brother?
Hey man, I'm too blessed to be stressed. You know the vibes, and I'm saying Money Talk Tuesday it is. We have a guest who's about to bless us with nice.
100%.
How you feeling?
How am I feeling, bro? I'm cooling. I'm feeling amazing, right? I'm feeling like lives about to be changed right now, bro. You know what I mean? I feel
That's
like
it.
the person we have today, you know what I mean? Talk is cheap. Brother, Mpho, how are you feeling today, my
I
brother?
feel good. Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. Yes.
No, sorry, Ned. Before you go into the real deal stuff, right? I just want to ask one question today. What's the first thing you did this morning?
Oh, I always.
Yeah, man. What's the first thing you did this morning?
The first thing I do in the morning, firstly, my anxiety wakes me up. And then I meditate for a good hour, and I do like breathing exercises, and I try to think of my day and you know, my goals and like my life moving forward.
Yeah. I like how you meditate. Do you personally feel like meditating is like an important aspect when it comes to just starting your day?
Yeah, I think so. I think mindfulness, it's an important thing in the journey towards success or whatever you're trying to do. Because if you're not mindful and you're not intentional about your thoughts, because your mind is like a garden at the end of the day.
The mind is like a garden.
Mine is like a goal.
True. And you must trim it and you must train it, because sometimes you get lost in like what's happening and you lose focus. So you always must be centered.
Yeah, man.
Do you have
Nah,
like
most
a specific like schedule that you follow every single morning? Like when you wake up, I'm gonna do this until this time. I'm gonna then do this. You know, do you plan it the day before, or like how does that work?
I think like I used to plan, but now it's like a habit, you know, when things are a habit. So the first hour is meditation. Then I don't look at my phone till it's 9 a.m. That's the one rule I have. And yeah, and just like, you know, take a shower, be mindful, always make your bed, because already if you are goal driven, like that's the first goal you have in the morning, already you achieve one thing, then your day is going to be beautiful.
And I like how you said you don't look at your phone until a certain time. Because what people do these days, they just wake up, you know, go on social media, ruin your day because you're seeing all these, you know, nasty things on social media and whatever that's affecting you personally. I like that, man. I'm going to start doing that, actually. I've done it. You know what? You just put me on something. That's what's up. Most
100%.
definitely.
100%. But then just before you even, you know, get to, you know, speak about, you know, the important stuff. I just want people to have an understanding and an idea of who we're talking to. You know what I mean? So my brother Mpho, if you could just describe yourself, bro, just quick, you know, explanation. Who are you? Like who's
Yeah,
Mpho, man? Like if I could, you know, be introduced, like, you know, I just met you right now. I want to know who you are. You know, who are you, my brother?
Well, that's a very interesting question. I think Mpho is people who know me, they say, which I obviously also know, I'm highly ambitious, I'm a hardworking, I'm a hustler at heart. You know, I'm a people's person as well. Like I'm good with talking to people, networking. So yeah, I'd say that's Mpho for you. But I'm also like one thing that people don't know, I'm very introverted. When I go back home, I'm a loner. I like my own space. I like spending time alone as well.
So you kind of like more or less both. You know how to you know actually interact and speak to people. You know, I mean, if you goal driven, that means you speak to a lot of people who you know make business. But then you also, you know, how do you find the balance though? Is it like do you feel uncomfortable sometimes speaking, or do you feel like how do you find the balance between those two things?
It's actually like I don't feel uncomfortable like speaking, but I'm the kind of person where it's like a switch, you know. I know when I'm going into a business setting, Mpho, you have to network, you have to do things, you know, and I go in it hard and I hustle and I enjoy it. But also, you know, dealing with people's energy. When I get back home, I really just enjoy my own space and, you know, my own time and like being in my own thoughts. And I think which is something we need to normalize, you know, just like being comfortable with being alone and spending time alone and getting to know yourself.
Yeah,
Which is very important, actually. You know? Now, you know, with that being said, where are you from, actually?
I'm from a small town called Welcome in the Free State.
In the Free State. So
Yeah.
you from Free State.
Yeah.
Is that where you grew up?
Yeah, that's where I grew up.
Wow. How is it that side? Because I'm from Limpopo. You're from Lesotho, but Free State.
No, I've been to Free State, but
I've
which
never.
side of Free State exactly?
You close by.
Oh yeah, because
Yeah. So,
yeah, let's say, but yeah.
Yeah, but Free State is like, it's basic, you know, it's like, there isn't much happening, there isn't much opportunity, you know. I think there you can see poverty and you can see like people are not driven and the lack of opportunities there is there, yeah. But I mean, it was a good upbringing. I don't think I'd be the person that I am if I didn't grow up there.
Yeah, man.
100. And you know, would you consider yourself as a person who were privileged at a young age, or you know, in order for you to get to this point, or were you actually just, you know, from a young age, did you like, you know, did you work towards you?
Yeah. I didn't grow up very privileged. I lost my dad, I think I was a year old, and obviously like things just went bad after that. My mom did not have a job. Like I grew up really like, you know, we experienced a bit of poverty, I would say, but not as extreme as other people. But like I didn't grow up very privileged, and I think that's where it stems from. You know, my hustler spirits came from that because I obviously knew like there's more to life than just this. You know, yeah.
100%.
Yeah, man. No, most definitely. And also, as that being said, I just like how you said as well, you know, there weren't really opportunities, you know, in that setting and so forth. Is that where you went to school? Did you go to primary and high school there? Or?
Yes, I went to primary and high school.
And high school as well, both?
Yeah.
What is your primary's name? I don't know any primaries or high schools there in Free State. I've never been there, you know.
It's a school called Copy Alien.
Copy Alien.
Copy
Copy an alien, is that?
Copy
No,
an alien.
Copy an alien. It's Afrikaans. It's like Copy Alien. Yeah.
Copy Alien.
Yeah.
okay.
Cup alone, simply translated.
Copy as in cup,
Yeah,
alien as in
alien,
alone.
alone.
He wasn't
Yeah.
in African school, so he would.
Oh yeah, that's
what
something like,
Oh,
oh yeah, man.
you
Yeah,
get me. He's
I
like
get you,
Copy
yeah.
Alien.
Hey man,
So
hey
that's
man,
where you went to school. Was it primary or
Primary.
and high school?
It's Welcome Gymnasium. I'll just say it in English now.
Welcome Gymnasium. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So is that where you so how did you go from Welcome, you know, to living in the Free State to now moving to Joburg now? Because now you here now.
Yeah.
When did that switch happen?
I mean, I was always like, I always said that I was very exposed from a very young age. I became Mr. Teen World, I think I was 15, and I traveled the world, you know. I always came to Joburg when I was in high school. Like, I basically like spend my time between Welcome and Joburg. And I obviously knew that this is where I need to be. Like, the Joburg bug got me from a very young age, and I was like, I really need to be in the city. There's more opportunities. And I think it was natural for me after high school just to move here.
No, most definitely. Now, going from that, you know what I'm saying? You're a child now. Did you always think you're going to be successful?
Yes. Not
Like,
to
I
sound
feel like-
arrogant.
That's a mindset.
Yeah, that's the one thing that people actually don't like tell themselves. Like,
Yeah,
it's just
true.
like, I'm in a setting where, there's not much opportunities, you know. I mean, what else? What else can
I
you do? You know what I'm saying?
get. But with me, like from I think I was about 12 and 11, I was like, I'm going to be a star when I grow up. Like I didn't know where that come from. I'm going to be like a star. I'm going to be rich and famous. And I'd say I'd have a reality show. I remember when I was 12, I said to someone, I asked my mom, where can I get a website? Like I was asking people around, like I want a website for no reason. Like I didn't do anything, but I just wanted a website. So I think it's a gut feeling that you always have. I feel like you are always born with a seed inside of you, and you really need to nourish and nurture that seed. And I was fortunate enough to recognize from a very young age, because I always said I was different from other kids, you know. From a like I always stood out, and I knew that obviously like one day there was something that told me like one day you will be successful.
I mean, yeah, man.
100%.
Which
I
is
mean,
nice.
I mean, bro, you know, you witnessed and experienced success at a very young age. I mean, I think you, just how old were you, bro, when you actually got Miss Teen?
I was actually 15 at the time, so like exposure at a very young age as well. You know, I think that's what also determined my altitude in life, because like, you know, the amount of exposure you get when you're young, or the limitations that are around you, like they ultimately determine your altitude.
How did that come about, though? Like, how did you even?
So I remember I was in grade 6, and I said to my teachers, this is one thing about me, I manifest a lot.
100%.
I said to
100%.
one of my teachers, like, I'm going to Mr. Junior South Africa. And I didn't know there was a pageant called Mr. Junior South Africa.
Oh, yeah?
And like, oh, really, you? Okay. And I remember even I used to be in my bedroom and pretend to be Mr. Teen World in front of the mirror and just give like a speech at my old primary school. About bullying, because I was bullied a lot as well. So when I started researching about it, like on Google, like Mr. Junior South Africa, it popped up, and I saw this competition. I emailed them, I signed up, you know, I did the whole thing. That's how I found out. I actually entered Mr. Junior South Africa when I was like, my first year I was 14, I lost it. I came back the second year. Like I literally like lost, you know, like the whole competition. I was like one of those losers, you know, that kid that
In the Benin.
yeah, you know. Then I was like, oh, I need to go back and like I need to, you know, work hard for it. And I like literally prepared for the competition for like the whole year, 365 days. I was consistent, like practicing my interviews, you know, going to modeling classes every single day. And the next year I went and I won the whole pageant, and I got offered the opportunity to represent South Africa overseas. Yeah.
100%, 100%. And you mentioned something you called manifestation, you know, and the fact that you said this way before you even knew it.
It was gonna happen,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like you're like, yo, this is who I'm gonna be. This is, you know, this is the type of person I'm gonna win this. You know, it just goes to show, bro, just how if you can say something, you know, because words are powerful.
They
You
are.
know what I'm saying? And
They are.
just with regards to like Mr. SA though, when you did win it, bro, was it like a wow, or was it like, psh, I got this?
It was a wow, you know, as much as I manifest a lot, and
Yeah.
you know, sometimes I just like, people will take it for arrogance when you say like, I'm gonna be a millionaire, I'm gonna be a billionaire, you know, I'm gonna do this, and it's humbling. I think when these things happen that you've manifested, you have no option but to say, you know, like God is real, the universe is real, you know. You get like for me when it happened, I had so much humility. I actually cried. I'm like, hard work and like saying words over your life and manifesting things over your life and meeting that energy, it does work. And I think, you know, you have no option but to be humbled.
100%.
No, you know, I get, you know, you're being humble. You know, there's a level of being, you know, where you can be as humble as possible.
Yeah.
But now you went from, you know, Mr. Teen South Africa, and you went on to become Mr. Teen World. How can you be then humble? Like, how do you then become, you know what, it was supposed to happen. I mean,
Yeah.
Teen World, that's a big deal.
It is.
You went overseas, you know, to represent South Africa, and you just made the whole country proud.
Proud, yeah. I think the feeling that I had was like, wow, actually, you know, like, wow. And I think that also changed my whole trajectory of life and how I view things now. It's like, Mpho, you were 15, you are born in a small town in the hood, you know, and what are the chances that you could become Mr. Teen World? I think for me, it just changed my whole system and my whole thinking, you know, and what is possible to achieve in life. But obviously, when you're in that moment, you're like, you will be like humbled by the experience, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this happened, God is good, or whatever your belief system is. But obviously, sometimes you will say, I am Mr. Teen World. And I think also that is not a bad thing to do, you know. So like I leveraged on that, I am Mr. Teen World, and I used it to catapult where I am right now, because I wouldn't be where I am if I didn't run with that opportunity. So I used that sense or that part of it, like to run with it and to create more opportunities for myself.
Which is fine. And the one thing, we actually wanted to know, we understand, how do you transition now from, Mr. Teen World, the modeling side of things, you grew up in a settlement that is not as fortunate as most people. How did you become business minded? Because that transition it was at a very young age.
Yeah.
You became an entrepreneur, or just were thinking entrepreneurial at the age of 15.
Yeah.
How?
This started I think, my dad was a businessman, and I think also genes plays an important part. But when I was 12, I picked up my first business book.
Oh, yeah.
Rich
12.
Dad, Poor Dad. Yeah,
You
12.
read
Rich Dad, Poor
Dad at the
Dad.
age of 12.
Yes.
I read that last year.
Last year.
That's it. That's something like,
year.
things
Yeah.
like that. We read the book last year.
Yeah.
It changed my life personally.
yeah, true.
Now, your life changed at the age of 12.
Yeah. So I read the book, picked it up, and after that, my whole thinking changed. Because I always knew that I wanted to be a CEO. The thing is, when I was young, I used to sit at home and pretend to be on my, those junior laptops?
Oh, yeah,
and we had a landline at home. I sit on the dining room table, pretend like I'm a CEO, and I'm having board meetings.
Yeah.
And when people ask me, what do you want to be? I would say CEO. It's that is not a career. You need to say
CEO of what?
doctor. CEO.
Yeah.
I don't care. I want to be a CEO. Wow. It was a thing that happened. And how I got into business was actually, my mom lost a job when I was in grade 8.
Oh, yeah.
And my mom used to give me an allowance for the week, right? Oh, yeah. And then that allowance, I bought one lolly in the morning, and then this guy said to me, can I buy it? And I was like, yeah, but for R2, I need to make money.
Oh,
Yeah, it was, yeah. And then I bought 4 lollies the next day, then
Oh, yeah.
sold them, bought 8, then I could finally buy a pack. And then what I started doing is recruiting other kids from other classes to be agents and sell for me. And I'd make them sign a contract, because you're not allowed to sell at school. So if they catch you, it's like a non-disclosure. And I was like, oh, you're very smart for that age.
Wow. So that's at the age of 12, right?
No, 14.
14.
Yeah.
So you played a whole thing in your, at your house where I'm a CEO.
Yeah.
I'm business minded. And then you went out to the world, started a young business of lollipops. You know what I'm saying? So, just seeing you, just give someone out there, the opportunity to be like, you know what? I can do it at the age of 16 maybe.
100%.
You did it at 12, 14.
Yeah.
Why can't I do it at the age of 18, 16? You know what I'm saying? Which is crazy, yeah, man.
100%, bro. And speaking about that, bro, just around that age group, that age time, bro. Because I feel like a lot was happening in your life, a lot of was happening, both good and bad. And, just the fact that you went, to Mr. World, then from there you started business. And then from there, when you turned 16, you're like, all right, you know what? I see all of that. That's cute. Business, Mr. Cool. I want to do real estate. You know what I mean? What?
Like, wow.
What happened? Like, what really, really intrigues you, to actually, want to look into real estate and sell a house? Did you have the love for the houses? What happened there, bro?
So, with me, I feel like manifestation is like an important journey of my life. Because I grew up watching $1 Million Listings, New York.
I
And
used
that
to
was
watch
back
that too,
in grade 10, grade 11. And I would just watch it and be like, one day I want to sell luxury property in New York City. Because, I saw the commission that they made and these beautiful houses and the lifestyle they could, and I was like, this is like me. Then I just forgot about it, put it on the back burner. I didn't really think much of it. And then I started interning for Mrs. SA. And then that's where I met my current boss. And I said, so can I please have a mentorship session with you? And she ended up offering me a job in real estate. And I'm a hustler. I was like, I'm going to run with this opportunity.
100.
Yeah.
100. And there's also something I remember we met this one time, and you told me that you actually started working for a few months for free.
Yeah.
And then from there, you started getting a permanent job.
Yeah.
Just the dedication, bro, to actually be like, you know what? I don't care about the money is irrelevant.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The money will come. I want to learn the skill set.
I think even when I asked about the mentorship, it was not even like asking for a job or money. And with everything that I go into, I think we were speaking about Mrs. SA, I worked for them for free for a few months. And I said to them, I just want to learn from you guys, how you run things and everything. And I think that's how I've conducted my life. To me, it's not necessarily about the monetary value, but it's what you're going to learn and who you become in the process. Because
100%,
money is a flow. Even when you broke or you go bankrupt, the things and the principles that you learn, trust me, if you can learn how to build a multi-million rand company, when you lose everything, you'll still be able to build it again.
Again and again and again. 100.
Now, which is actually crazy because, talking about real estate, wait, first things first, how long did it take you before selling your first home? Because, everyone is thinking real estate, hey man, oh my word, do I need to study? Do I need to get an honors degree or whatever? Like, how long does it take for you to be like, okay, you know what, I wanna, like right now, me and Chris are sitting here, with you right now. If I'm like, you know what, I wanna start real estate today.
Yeah.
How long does it take for me to actually, maybe sell my first house or something like that?
It's very easy actually. You just register on the EAB board as an intern. Yes, as an intern, and then you get a firm to work for. You become their intern, and then some firms will let you start selling houses as an intern. Some won't. They want you, to train you, get the proper training, and then after a year you can start selling houses.
After a year.
After a year.
Now, speaking about selling houses, you made one of the biggest deals of your life. Which is, up until this point, I don't understand. How does one, in a year, sell a house worth of 18, is it 18? 18 million rand. How do you do that?
I'm a hustler at heart. And
100.
once I set my mind to something, I do it. And once I saw that house, it was my first listing, and I saw this beautiful house. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm actually selling this house. I went into that house, I stood on the rooftop, and I started saying,
Yeah.
I'm going to sell this, I'm going to sell this, I'm going to
selling
sell
this.
this. I sold
Yeah.
this, I sold this. And I think every single morning when I woke up, I was saying to myself, I'm going to sell this, I'm going to sell this.
Yeah.
And my actions matched that. Like, I had to function from a level of frequency that I've never functioned from. The person that I had to become to sell that house, like, I was willing to do literally anything and everything to sell it.
As you said, it sounds like you have a formula, sounds like manifestation is one of the biggest things that you personally do. What are the blueprints that you can give out, to some people out there, when it comes to your business side of things, of doing, because clearly manifestations is one of the things that, is key important to you. What other formula or, blueprint do you use to just stay at the top, man?
Yeah. I think what I was saying even yesterday, as I had a call with my best friend, is that I've realized I'm the kind of person, and the principality has worked in my life. I'm the kind of person, when I've crossed one mountain, there's a bigger one to cross. So I'd say to people, once like how to stay on top or how to be successful is, once you get over one challenge, there's another one and there's another mountain, and you should always set the bar higher. For me, I've always done that. Like, I was like, I'm gonna be Mr. Junior South Africa, what's next? Mr. Teen World, after Mr. Teen World, what's next? So always set the bar higher for yourself. That's what I would say. And another thing about manifestations, they don't really work, if I'm gonna be honest. Can I tell you how do they work?
How do they work?
The amount of whatever you're manifesting, that dream, if you read, there's a book called Think and Grow Rich, the amount of thing that you want, the dream, the goal, needs to amount to the sacrifice. That's the only time it's going to work. So what are you willing to do? What are you willing to sacrifice? What kind of work are you willing to do? Because this house is like, it's an 18 million rand deal. Are you willing to sacrifice 18 million in terms of sweat, hard work, not sleeping, not partying? Like, there was so much that I had to do within these past 4 months. I was telling my friend, like, I was not, like, isolated myself from my friends, my family. I wasn't going out a lot. Like, the only time I went out was for, like, a client or business. I wasn't going out. I didn't enjoy my money. I put my money towards this listing and making sure it's a success. Like, I sacrificed, and I think that's something I did, like, subconsciously, because I just told myself, I need to do this. And then, like, my hard work matched it, and I understood that the sacrifice needed to equal the reward. And when I look back at the journey, literally what I sacrificed literally had to equal the reward.
Wow.
Otherwise, manifesting doesn't work.
So just a tip on manifestations. You're saying it's about sacrificing.
Yeah.
The sacrifice you make.
Yeah.
That has to equal your manifest.
Yeah.
Is it manifest? Is that the right word? Manifestation.
Manifestation, yeah.
Manifestation, right? So the key word is actually, or the key thing is sacrifice.
Sacrifice,
Now, what other thing do you use? Because is that all? That it's difficult to believe that's the only thing
that I use.
that you use to just keep at the top. Or
It's
just
work
to
ethic,
Do
It's,
that.
it's like work ethic. I started working towards my work ethic when I was like 16, and some work ethic is something that you actively do, like waking up at 5 a.m. It's not easy, something you have to work on. Saying, I'm going to put in so much hours, like your work ethic, and you need to breathe, live your work. And one thing that young people do not understand is, in order to be different and in order to be successful at a young age, you're going to have to do what your peers are not doing. Because I'm not doing what my peers are doing, and like, you know, the journey is lonely. Like, it's so lonely. I've lost so many friends throughout the journey because I'm not doing what my peers are doing. And you gotta be different, and you gotta be the hardest working person in the room to stay successful. Yeah.
100%. What is it that you do every day, you know, compared to a normal, regular person? And what is the difference?
Yeah, my life did change. I mean, like, I had to actively pursue this mindset. Like, and my life only changed when I was like, I'm gonna read more books. I'm gonna, you know, exercise, or I'm gonna work. I'm gonna set goals. I'm gonna have a dream board, and I'm gonna be in constant pursuit of my dreams. Your life does change. You see, like, you achieve more, you know. And I think from a normal person, like, I don't watch TV. I really don't know what's happening in pop culture. You know, I'm the kind of, I won't sit on, like, I don't hang out a lot with people. I'm not like very social.
Yeah.
But when it comes to work, I will go out on those lunches. I will go out on those dinners, you know. And I think the mindset for me is like everything is based around my work and my passion and my dream. And everything that I do, I'm intentional about it. And I'm always asking myself, how is this contributing to your tomorrow? Because I know a lot of young people, like, you chill, you smoke weed, it's nice. You're still young, you know, we're vibing. It's all about the vibes these days.
Yeah.
And for me, it's just like, no, it's not. We need to work towards 2022. What's our next goal?
Yeah.
So it's also it can be a toxic mindset, not like you won't, what you need to balance, like living in the moment. So, but at the back of my mind, I think I'm always keeping like, how is this contributing to my growth? How, am I getting to where I need to? Like, I'm very goal orientated, I think, compared to the normal person.
So sorry, just to give clarity, you know, to the people out there, because you know, there are always people that, you know, take things out of context. You know, some people might say, I can't go out now, whatever, you know,
Yeah.
type of thing. So do you actually go out as well? You
I
know,
do.
Would you, what would you say to someone who's like, yes, I want to have that mindset,
That-
but me personally, you know, I like turning up, you know, I like going out, whatever. How would you advise them to just balance that out?
I think I do go out. People who follow me on social media, they know I go out. They probably think I go out every single day. But I do go out. But for me, it's like, even when sometimes I go out for business. I think that's the difference sometimes, you know. And trust me, I do sometimes go out to celebrate, and I would go out with my best friend and we'd go drinking and regret the night. You can still be successful and go out and drink and watch Netflix. I watch Netflix. But that is not my priority in life. Like, that is not something I'm keeping at the back of my mind, you know what I mean? Yeah, so you can still do whatever you like to do, but always, I think what I always remember is like, how is this contributing to your growth? Is this getting us to where we need to
No,
go
most
to?
definitely. And just speaking on social media, you know, as you said, you know, the people on your social media, you know, they would think Mpho goes out every day. You know what I'm
Exactly,
saying? Now that life, you know, talking about the lifestyle as well, touching base on that, would you say your lifestyle, because there's a thing that people say, your Instagram life is more popping, not yours, you know, specifically, but people say, you know, some people's Instagram lives are more popping than your real life. You know,
Yeah.
how do you personally differentiate your
Instagram.
Instagram life, or lifestyle rather, with your actual real life? Like, what's different about that?
I think I got on social media very young, and I started being popular very young. So I had to train myself to understand there is a difference between real life and social media, and also you need to live in the moment. You need to like, don't give the impressions, they don't translate to real life. So I take a lot of social media breaks. And I understand that I'm not Instagram, and I think with the pursuit of everything that I do, I want to be involved in things that are going to make me money, even if Instagram gets deleted today, or Twitter, or whatever, you know. And I would say to young people, what you see on Instagram is really not what's really happening. And we don't all post, you know, our highs. We only post highs. We don't post our lows. You don't know when I have severe depression, or I'm not having a good day. But yeah, you should just like separate yourself from social media.
And also talking about, you know, you're saying money-wise, right? You have a social media firm.
You know?
Touching base on that, like, what is that? For someone who doesn't know what a social media firm is, please, like, what is a social media firm?
So a social media firm, basically, we manage different companies and people's social medias. We create content for them, we post for them, because not everybody's social media savvy and knows the algorithms. Yeah, so we come in, we're that person, like, we get you out there, we get your brand out there, you know, very digitally orientated. And that's what a social media firm does.
do you work with a team or do you work alone? You know, with these, because I heard you work with a lot of clients.
Yeah.
So do you work with a team?
I do have a team, so like I source young people and then just give them a brief for each client, and then they will manage that client's social media.
Now, personally, you know, I'm always on Instagram. How do you start thinking from, oh, I like this picture, oh, you know, let me follow this person, to actually thinking about making money on social media? Like, how did you get to that? Like, what made you think of, hey, man, let me make money managing someone else's thing? You know, how do you think about these things? Like, how did that come up?
So it was lockdown, and I had an events company. I was just the only thing running at the time, and we were not making money. And I was like, oh my goodness, how can we make money? And I met there was a lady who owned a guest house, and she's like, she doesn't have social media. I'm like, you don't have, but you have a business. Then I recognized that gap. Like these days, I always said like, what's this, Instagram and social media are the websites of the future, because nobody's visiting websites anymore. They go and see a page to see your products and to see that, and that's the kind of mindset that I went into it with.
Wow.
100%, bro. Dude, just with you, bro, you know, one thing I picked up, bro, is that you're very disciplined, bro. Very, very disciplined. And that's something that a lot of people struggle with. You know what I mean? And you know, discipline goes alongside time management as well, you know what I mean? So just what would you say to those people, bro? Like people who actually, you know, really just can't be disciplined and stick to one thing. They jump from idea to idea. They don't really execute, you know, consistency. You spoke about consistency. What would you say to those people, my king?
I'd say stick it out. You know, I think the difference between winners and losers is that losers quit and winners don't. Like if you stick it out, and you need to function from a mentality, because I even said to myself, I remember earlier this year, I said, even if I'm not a millionaire at 21 or 25 or whatever, even if I don't make it earlier on, I'm okay with making it at 40. Like I got okay with like, I'm gonna make it, it doesn't matter when. And I think young people need to get into that mentality. You really need to stick it out, because that's what's going to differentiate you from the rest. Patience and perseverance and consistency.
Most definitely. And you know, we just crazy, you know. And the one thing I like about you is just, you know, how business minded you are. You know, you're entrepreneurial, you know, skills bound. You're just always looking for new opportunities, you know, gaps to fill in. You know, you also filled in a gap where, yes, it's one thing to be a contestant, you know, when it comes to, you know, the pageants or whatever, you know, modeling. You went and created your own one.
Yeah.
When did that happen? How did that happen?
So
what is it called as well? Yeah.
Yeah, so it's called Miss United Africa. We used to call it Miss United Nations South Africa, but then we rebranded this year. Where that came from is like, okay, I want Mr. Teen World now, and I saw a gap, like you said, in the pageantry industry where like they didn't cater for everybody. Like certain competition, like you can't enter if you're not a certain height or a certain size.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you know that?
You gotta be
wow.
tall. We got tall.
You gotta be
models,
6
bro.
feet or something.
Hey, tall models,
For
bro.
real.
True. Yeah.
Wow, that's
so I was
crazy.
like, I want to create a brand that is inclusive of everybody. Because even when I competed, like I faced a lot of discriminations because maybe of my color or certain things. I was too skinny, I was too that. Which is sad, you know. So I was like, I need to create a fair competition. I wanted to be inclusive of everybody and offer them opportunities to go overseas, because like I saw everybody wants to go overseas and compete with other countries. I mean, it changes your whole perspective on life. So I was like, the best thing to do after Mr. Teen World is to create my own platform.
Which is crazy. And you know, that's the one thing I like, because most people, you know, when I go overseas, you know, young kids don't know how can you go overseas these days. You know, and it's people like you that, you know, bring up platforms like these, you know, create opportunities for multiple people, right? Now, sorry, because how did you go from? Because you told us off you know, off camera that you actually sold a pageant to someone.
Yeah.
Why and what pageant was that?
It was a local pageant. So where I come from, the municipality is called Machabeng. So it was called Miss Machabeng. So the reason I started that pageant was also to create opportunities for young girls to go to national and hopefully international pageants. And I sold it to actually buy Miss United Nations. So I moved from Valcom to Joburg, and I was like, this pageant is here. And then I saw Miss United Nations. There wasn't a director for South Africa. So I then sold that one to buy Miss United. nation, South Africa.
So you sold that one to buy. So this one you bought. You didn't like started from.
No, yeah, I had to buy
yeah,
a franchise for South Africa.
Yeah, but then brother, I just want to know because you told me Rich Dad Poor Dad, right?
Yeah.
And there's a part in Rich Dad Poor Dad where they speak about. I've asked you this question before.
Yeah.
The four-way cash flow. Bro, which part of the four-way cash flow would you consider yourself? And just to have a young explanation of the cash flow, just for the people who don't really know what the four-way cash flow is.
I'd say right now I want to consider myself a business, like the B part of it, but I'm also trying to be like an investor. Like the ultimate goal with like four-way quadrant is you want to either be a big business or an investor, not self-employed. So that's the kind of direction I'm navigating into it. I wouldn't say I'm completely there because I really want to own like a big business that will be able to run itself without me. And obviously that takes a couple of years to do, Yeah, and also move into the investor part of it. Invest in property, invest in the stock exchange, invest in a couple of things that will actively bring money to you. So the four-way cash flow is employee, business, self-employed, and investor. So the employee is obviously working your 9 to 5. If someone owns your hours, they pay you to deliver service. The self-employed is like your photographers who own their own hours, like they're self-employed and they get paid, they outsource, those kind of people. The investors, you're looking at your Warren Buffett, guys who own properties, who own big businesses, who own stock, who own all those things, like money is actively flowing to them. And the big businesses, you're looking at the guys with the big businesses, like you're looking at someone with a McDonald's franchise, or like, a Chicken Licken franchise, or like a
Coca-Cola,
huge company that runs itself. So where you really want to find yourself, it depends on what you want in life, but where you really want to find yourself, it's either you're a big business or you're an investor, because that's when you own your time and money makes itself without you being there.
When it comes to those type of things, because that's an essential skill to have, when it comes to managing money, but also time as well. You personally, what would you say, why is it essential to have, time and money management?
It really is essential to have time management. I think how you manage your time will automatically translate into how much you make and how much money like you can manage. So time management is very important to me. Like I set timers even on my phone. Like you're gonna work for 2 hours. You're gonna work for 2 hours. Gonna read for an hour. We're gonna have lunch for an hour. So that's what I do. Time management is very important to me. And then money management, it is. I feel like if you don't manage your money, then you will lose it eventually.
So you'd say the most essential thing is actually time, rather than the money aspect. Because if you have time, you are.
You know what they say? If you have time but you have no money, it's pointless. And if you have money but no time, it's also pointless.
Ooh. Hence, you need both.
Yeah.
Ooh. That is bars.
All right, with money, Nick, because it's a very also, very tricky, conversation. Because I could say go get money right now. What do you do? So, but like, but what is, because there's saving. When you get paid, you can say like you spend like 60%, then you save 40, and then there's compounding, right? Which is you take your money, the money that you have, and then you increase. What is the difference, and which one is more essential according to you?
For me, I think saving is not important. And like there's a different context. Like people just save and they save, and what are you saving for? And why is money just sitting in your bank? You understand? Like when I go into, it's like if you're gonna save, that money should be, it's either gaining interest or you saving towards like investing it in a business or buying property or something. Like for me, that's the saving mentality. And you get some people just save money in the bank, it earns 5% interest. No, I would say rather focus on compound interest, because money, it's a rule of doubles.
Ooh. Money is
rule
of doubles.
Say it one more time, please.
Money is a rule of doubles.
I'm gonna say
Wow.
Which simply translates to 1,000 rand is 10 doubles away from 1 million. So what you need to do is like you get 1,000. How do I double it? You double that, you have 2K. How do you double 2K? You have 4K. After 4K, 8K till you get to 1 million.
Wow, which is crazy. And also, just so we know what's compounding. We know what's saving. What is actually, just explain the difference. What is saving and what is compounding? Because people, that some listeners actually don't know.
Saving is going to the bank and saving your money, and they'll give you like 2% on interest per annum, or whatever percentage they decide. Compound interest is interest on top of interest.
So you just interest in your money.
Exactly.
Your money is
That's
interesting.
interesting. That's
Your
very
money is very
interesting.
interesting.
Interest on top of interest.
Yeah.
So that's what the rich do. They want
Oh.
interest on top of interest, but the bank doesn't give you interest on top of
Wow.
interest. It just gives you interest.
The whole time.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. See, it's things like these that we don't learn at school, which is the sad part. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Financial literacy is actually, it's not taught in school.
School,
And
yeah.
hence, people don't know what's saving. They don't know what's compounding. To them, I have 100 Rand. I'm going to put it here in my bank account. I'm saving it for a rainy day. Also, there's a saying that, just off topic, there's a saying that if you save for a rainy day, that means there's going to be a rainy day coming.
Yeah, true.
I like calling it, what is it? Your future millionaire plan.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
true.
Now, when it comes to you, how often do you save? How often do you compound, rather, your money? Do you like, how do you manage your money to a point where you feel like, you know what? This is actually, I'm compounding in a way where it's benefiting my future.
So how I go about it is I try to put away amount of money, and this is how, like I said, money is a rule of doubles.
Yeah.
So what I did is I opened an investment account, and I started with 500 Rand. I put 500 in there, and then the next month I said 1,000 Rand. And then that's how I keep putting it in there. So now I'm playing a rule of doubles, and the investment account, it's a zero rated tax, so I don't pay tax on it, and the interest on it compounds as well every month. So you are compounding your own money, and the bank is compounding your money. So you must also read the fine print, whether it's per annum or per month. So the investment option I chose, it's per month, so that you gain interest on every amount you put in per month. And it's interest on top of that interest that you gained.
So that's the rule of double that you're talking about.
Yeah.
When you say rule of double, ladies and gentlemen, that's the secret he does. Rule of double. That's how you double your money consistently.
100%.
Which is fire, yeah, man.
100%. My brother, I just got like one more question for you, bro. I just want to know, before we wrap it up, I just want to know, my brother, why, bro? Like, why? Like, why you, like,
Why is successful?
why, you know what I mean? Because you doing all of this, bro, but what is your reason? What is your why behind it? And I know I've asked you this question before, right? But why?
But it always gets so difficult, because sometimes I also ask myself, like, dude, calm the F down.
Calm down.
You're only 21. Like, why are you this ambitious? Like, why do you have to be a billionaire?
Yeah.
Why do we have to go out and change the world?
Yeah.
And I think for me, it boils down is, like, as I said, I grew up in poverty, and I got exposed from a very young age. And I think there is more to life, like, I saw guys that are living in, like, luxury, and they fly out private. There's abundance to life. And the more you can tap into what God has created for us, or the universe has created for us, the better. Like, explore God's creation. And, there's so much abundance. And I think as Black people, we are raised up and we're brought up around scarcity. And, you should there's always a rainy day coming, or you should always save, or you should not be too out there, the mindset. But you can live lavishly, you can explore the whole world, and you can really, and for me, I think personally, I always said, I want to reach my highest and fullest potential when I leave the earth. When I die, I want to know, like, my body, I've used every atom in it, and I've like fulfilled everything that God has set me apart. Because it would really be sad to get to heaven and God said, this is who you are supposed to be, and you were only 10% of that.
Yeah, which is crazy.
Which
is crazy. No, I love that. And if there was this 10-year-old Mpho Botha sitting there, rather, you know what I'm saying? What advice would you give him? And what advice would you give to the youth who want to be, I mean, you've inspired multiple people, you know what I'm saying? They're out here thinking, wow, age of 21, millionaire, I want to do that too. Now, before we get to that question, because it's a two-in-one question. First statement, what would you advise the 10-year-old Botha sitting right there? Mpho Botha, what would you say to him?
Firstly, I'd give him a hug.
Come on.
It's going to be okay. We are going to be good. And I'd say to him, you know what? Screw what people are saying. Focus on your dreams. You're going to go far in life. And ultimately, you determine your altitude. Nobody else determines your altitude. How far you go is solely dependent on you. And just keep swimming.
Keep swimming.
Yeah.
Now, for the people that are sitting out there, now there's 10,000 with us now.
Yeah.
People out there sitting, they don't know what to do.
Yeah.
They don't even know what to start. They are in an environment where there's not much opportunities around them. You know, what would you advise them to be like, okay, bro, you know what? Life is gonna be amazing. What advice would you give to someone who's sitting out there thinking, I wanna be a millionaire too, at the age of 21? What would you advise them?
I would say what I got. I think I wouldn't have made millionaire status if I didn't get this right, and I got it right this year only, because I've been saying since I think I was in grade 10, like I'm going to be a millionaire at 21.
Yeah.
I've been posting it on my status.
Oh.
I've been saying it to, and people thought I was
Wow,
mad.
yeah.
But I would say it's not about the figure; it's about who you become as a person. So focus on the journey and the process and who you become as a person. Because at the end of the day, it's not about the figure, what I've learned. It's not about how much money, but the kind of person you become, the kind of character and strength you build, that is where it's at.
Yeah, that's where it's at.
Yeah, and like being a millionaire, it's a mindset. It's not a figure, I promise you. It's really a mindset. I was telling myself I'm a millionaire a few months back. I was like, I'm a millionaire, It's about that mindset and cementing yourself in those spaces and being able to comprehend the work that you need to put in as a millionaire. Because I have a billionaire mentor and her work ethic, I'm like, dude, you are broke, but you can't even match it. This woman is a billionaire. And I think it's just about the work ethic that you need to develop that ultimately makes you a millionaire.
Now, talking about mentors as well, you said mentor, right?
Yeah.
I know we're about to wrap it up. Okay, now, you said you're a billionaire mentor.
Yeah.
So you believe in mentors,
Yes, I do.
right? Do you mentor people?
I try not to mentor people
Why is that?
because I believe I'm not where I want to be. And I also think it's something that's never going to happen because I'm the kind of person that I'm my worst critic. Like, I will never be good enough in my eyes, And like, even when people, like now, it's like you're a millionaire, and it's like, not good enough.
Yeah, I'm a millionaire, just got a couple of millions, but I'm...
Yeah, I think
Just
that's...
chilling there.
Not even. But I think for me, it's like, I don't want to mentor other people until I get to a place where I want to be spiritually, mentally, financially, physically. I want to be whole before and content and at peace before I start mentoring other people. But me having mentors is important to me because mentors and books, even books are my mentors. Like, you learning from people who've worked the journey for you. Learn from their mistakes. That's the best way to learn.
No, most definitely, most definitely. We get to a part where now we ask questions, you know what I'm saying? Not only us, we've asked our questions. I mean, there's a lot of questions, a million questions running in my head right now.
100%.
But this is where you give the audience an opportunity as well to ask how they can also make it, right? So first up, my brother man.
Hi, Mpho.
Hi.
Sorry, my name is Supermanja. So you made a lot of examples of what you have now, what you're doing, what you're busy with. I think for me, just for the people watching, a practical question is, can you give us one example of how you started? So, for example, you meet a lady who's got a guest house and she's on social media. Where do you start? Like step-by-step process. Because I believe that is often one of the hardest things to know how to do is to start. So, literally step-by-step, for example, you met the lady, you went to speak to your friend who's got a social page, I don't know.
Yeah.
So what was the process basically, step-by-step?
I think, first of all, is just taking a leap of faith and believing that you could do it. I think that's what we struggle with. Just like, say, I'm going to do it. The worst thing that they could say is no. And then one thing I always believe in is just do it. I always say start crappy. Start with no resources. Start with nothing, but just start, And with, like, referring to the social media thing, I think that's the easiest one, But let's say property thing, I was just like, okay, I want to be a real estate agent. What does it take? What qualifications do I need? Like, I do my research. And I look, how can I do this? So I was like, okay, you need a certain qualification in order to be a real estate agent. How can we obtain that? Who can we get in contact with? You get in contact. How do you register on the IEBB? Like, all these information. And so the beautiful thing about the information age is everything is on the internet, right? And you register on it and you ask people. You ask questions, and that's what I did. And you must be willing to learn, be a learner of life. And I think that's like essentially what it boils down to. Research, just throw yourself in the deep end. Like, sometimes you don't know how you're going to do it. I didn't know how I was going to sell this 80 million rand house at 20, and I was like new in the industry. Who's going to trust me? But I just said, let's do it, and we just did it.
100%.
No, for sure.
Just one more
100% question.
For a kid who's in a previously disadvantaged place, where resources like the internet is not readily available, what practical advice would you give them?
I'd say, the traditional method, like it's also about drive and hustle and how bad you want it. I mean, if you don't have a signal, there's like libraries. I'm not saying, because we understand South Africa is very poor, but I always feel like there is a way. Where there's a will, there is a way. That's one thing I'd say to them. Like, go to the library, pick up a few books, go read at school, ask your teacher if you could use their phone or their laptop. I don't think they like, and the nice thing about South Africans, there's always good Samaritans around that are willing to help young people and are willing to assist. I mean, if you come to your teacher or someone you look up to and say, ma'am, I really want to, let's say, study at the University of Cape Town. Can you assist me? Or can I use your laptop? Or can I use your phone? Or Wi-Fi? And I mean, I also grew up with those kind of people around. And I think that's the beauty about, we have that spirit of Ubuntu still. Although it's not as as it was back in the day, but there's always good Samaritans. And it's always about like how bad you want it, what I've noticed. Because there was the one story with this guy, he was in matric, but he got like 9 distinctions, and he was living in a shack with no electricity and it walked 9 miles. But that just shows you how bad this person wanted it.
No, most definitely, most definitely.
Great.
Hi, Bo.
Hi.
I'm the guy behind the scenes.
Yes.
So my question to you is, what do you do when you get that no? When somebody says no to your dreams?
Yeah. So before it used to crush me when I was younger, but then I learned I always say failure is part of it's like a habit to me. Like failing, I've made it part of my daily routine, part of my habit. I always understand that there is somebody that's going to say no. And that doesn't say anything about your character. It just means not the right timing, or not now, or bigger opportunity. So I always use no as a stepping stone. Like, why did I do wrong? Or like a direction. So it's about how you look at that no. Because what I like to do is like something that's very practical. I time myself 5 minutes on my phone. You're allowed to cry, complain, scream, whatever you want to do, but after those 5 minutes we move on and we make another plan.
Wow. So really when it comes to time, you really time yourself.
Yeah.
Straight up, on point.
You time yourself when you have to work. At this time I need to work. At this time I have 5 minutes to cry only. That's it.
Yeah.
So
Crow 5
cry, and then it's like, okay, back to normal. Yeah, that's what you do.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Wow, which is crazy.
100%.
Don, my brother.
Any other question, my brother?
Bo, how is it, brother?
I'm good, and how are you?
Blessings to you, man. You
Thank
are
you.
a great inspiration, first of all, to all of us here.
Most
in the
definitely.
large world, So more blessings to you, my brother.
Thank
And
you.
my question is that I see a lot of inspiration that you're bringing light into this world. Who do you look up to yourself? Who is the greatest inspirator that pushes you to do something and be or better like them?
Yeah, so I used to look up to a lot of people like Sir Richard Branson, who else? Robert Kiyosaki. And I just realized that, I watched this video, it was by Bradley Cooper. He says, your inspiration should be you in 10 years. Because I don't think there's anybody that has done what I want to do or who has done what I'm aiming to do. So I use myself as an inspiration. Like, I have a vision board of where I want to be in 10 years. I have goals where I want to be. And I use that guy and I imagine him every single day. And I'm telling you, that pushes me more than ever, because if it connects to your soul and it relates to you personally, like, because like different people have achieved different things and they might not be necessarily what you want to achieve. But if you can see yourself like 10 years from now and be able to visualize that person and be able to see him, smell him, think of him and how he conducts his life, I say every day you're going to try to push to get to that level. And once you even get there,
You can get higher.
Yeah.
100%.
One last question, brother. I'm a man of positivity, love, and like giving love and kindness to the world. How is that your closest ethics or values as a personal individual?
Yeah, I believe in positivity a lot. I'm very positive, and my friends will tell you, like, I'm such an optimistic. Like, if you start hanging around me, you're gonna want to be a millionaire as well and work hard and have goals. And I've seen it with all of my friends, because like I'm positive. I'm like, girl, let's work, get to it. There's more to life. So it's a core value, positivity, and love as well. I always say I lead with love. Everything I get into it with love, and that's so important. I think we need so much love in the world. And when you go into things with a pure heart, the universe has no reason but to bless you.
Most definitely.
Thank you so much.
100%. 100%. 100%. My brother, Chief, is there anything else you want to add, my brother?
No, man. Just last few years, because clearly time is very essential to you, right? Now, what would you say to someone who's out there who's thinking, I have the time, yes, I want to do, all these things, but I'm sitting at home, I don't know what to do. The only thing I don't have a job, I have nothing to do, but I want to be successful. What then? I lost my job, I'm sitting at home, I have all the time in the world, but what now?
Find something to do.
How do you find something to do?
You decide what do you like to do, what do you want to go into, go work for free, go volunteer, just get moving, do research, work on an idea, go pitch, look for funding, sign up to school, get NSFAS, just do something, just do something to move the pen just a little forward. You don't have to do the whole 360 degree, but my thinking every day is how can we move the pen just a little bit forward every day?
I like that.
Yeah.
No, most definitely. Chris, my brother?
Sheesh. On my side, my brother, I think, I've heard everything I needed
Yeah,
to
man.
hear. You know what I mean? I feel like I've heard everything I needed to hear. Education has been spread. Everybody here is happy.
Yeah.
I'm happy. You happy?
I'm too blessed. I'm blessed right now.
My brother.
I just got
Are
blessed.
you happy,
I'm
brother?
happy.
100%. I'm happy. Yet again, yo, it's that Money Talk Tuesday.
You know
Make
what
sure
it
you
is.
guys are here next week for some more sauces, man. You already know this is where we're gonna be at. Different guests, same sauce, same value, same education. Make sure you guys subscribe, like, all that good stuff. I love y'all. We all love you. Money Talk Tuesday, baby.
One more time, whatsoever thing on Money Talk Tuesday.
Yes, sir.
Right? You're going to now take us out. How you'd end a show? You've ended shows before. End the show for us, please.
Okay. That was another amazing episode of Money Talk Tuesday. Catch us next week, same time, same place, and stay safe.
Pew, 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 pew.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.